This from the Game Day NFL, and they are ranking Pro Football Focus's top offensive lines. Eagles number 1, Browns 2, Chiefs 3, Ravens 4, and Lions number 5. And Tom, the line is that good, and there were guys that were banged up a season ago, and they still grade out that high.
And Dave, when you consider that they basically went through 5 centers last year, it's pretty remarkable to consider that Ethan Posick, I don't think people fully appreciated what that guy meant to the team last year and what he was able to do in stepping in after, Nick Harris was, well, first of all, Teller is released, and then Nick Harris suffers the season-ending injury a play or two into the preseason opener in Jacksonville. And Postage comes in, and a guy who had played some center but mostly guard and was just remarkable and really anchored that team and anchored, one of the best offensive lines in football. And, I think last year as well, Jack Conklin coming back from injury and, he wasn't himself. And so, but they believed in him enough to give him another 4-year contract. And so, yeah, that's the one place where you are really set. Again, knock on wood, you don't have any major injury, but they did add some depth here in through the draft and stuff just to protect themselves going forward. But yeah, it's a great group. I think what's going to be interesting too, Dave, is that they were all learning how to adjust to Deshaun last year in a very short window, right? In only 6 games. And when you got a quarterback with that skill set back there, obviously he starts to improvise. You got to block a little bit longer. There were a lot of little, subtle things and nuances that they just didn't have enough time to work on. So I think, with this offense looking different this year, maybe with a little more of an emphasis on the running game, or maybe a different look to this running game this year, because you're going to have such a mobile quarterback. I would tell people, when you think about what this Browns offense can look like, take a close look at the way the Eagles ran their offense last year from a running standpoint. And I think that might be, this is a copycat league, and don't think for a second that Kevin Stefanski and his crew didn't take a close look at the way the Eagles used Jalen Hurts and their running backs and the way they blocked up front. So, again, we should feel very fortunate that the Browns are settled on the offensive line, because listen, it's a tried and true tradition. You can go back to the NFL of the 1940s and 50s. It all begins up front, and that is very true, whether it's opening holes for Nick Chubb or for blocking for number 4.